Well, if you're looking for a compact bushcraft knife that has multiple mounting options for its sheath, made right here in the USA, and has full tank construction just to name a few of its attributes, well then the Gerber principle might be right up your alley. Well, that is right, folks. Welcome back to another video here at Gideon's Tactical. Aaron here with you today in the beautiful outdoors. And that's right, made in Portland, Oregon, USA, out of 420 high carbon steel is this Gerber principle. And it's got a molded polymer sheath with a ton of different options. Got a true 0-degree grind on there. Full tank construction, as I said. Compact, but definitely has the potential to be a sick full tang, USA made, multiple, option mounted bushcraft knife, and it's not going to break the bank either. So we're going to break that all down for you today, show you pros, cons, positives, negatives, help you determine if this design is something that you should look into if you're looking for that compact Scandi ground bushcraft knife, or if there's just other stuff on the market. It's better just to stay with your tried and true Moras. That's what we're going to test, check out, and answer for you today. So let's go ahead and get to it and see what this blade can do. Yeah, that's right. It's nice to see that stamped right there. There's no guessing game on your blade when you see it made here in the USA with 420 high carbon steel. Now, that 420 high carbon is the exact same steel that is on the Gerber Strong Arm. If you've been following the channel for a while, we destroyed, and by we, I mean literally like 10 YouTubers tried to destroy that knife, and that thing was bomb-proof. Super, super strong, super tough, super durable, pretty rust resistant because of the kind of stonewash, or not stonewash, I think it's a satin finish, two different kind of finishes on there, basically. Will definitely be more rust resistant than say like 1095 or something like that, which is really good. And man, it was just so tough and durable. Now, the 420 high carbon that Gerber uses also is decent at edge retention, and this is decent as edge retention. It's not on par with, say, 1095, from a K-bar or something like that. I would say they do a really good job with 420, and I would say it's on par with any buck knife that I've seen, but it's not going to be on the level of, say, like Samvik 14C 28N. It's not going to be on the level, like I said, of 1095 from a lot of like USA made companies and stuff like that. So it's a good steel for what they chose. It's decent is what I would say. And particularly for a USA made steel, I'm happy with that. When I saw that, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm really glad they went US. They didn't go with like 7CR and, produce this over in China for like 30 bucks, So I am glad for that aspect in the steel that they decided to go with. So what we're looking at here is obviously that Scandi grind. That's a big deal. It is a true 0-degree grind out of the box, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So it is a 0-degree grind. You're looking at a thickness of 0.125 on that thickness. Nice, sharp 90-degree spine. It's going to throw sparks like nothing else. It's a flamethrower, and it will scrape really nicely as well. So that basically just a hair over an eighth of an inch thick. It's going to be, according to my specs here, it's about 3.1 overall cutting edge. You have a very minor sharpening ricasso right there. Good strong tip, so it's not going to accidentally like snap and break, but very precise. So you can get those really fine precision cuts, and that's why it's got that Scandi grind. Great shape to it, and guys, this thing bites like a great white shark on Shark Week. I mean, this thing bites into wood like none other, and I was very happy with it. Literally have to almost like relearn how to use it because it even bites in better than most of my Moras, which is really impressive. Some of that's just the edge geometry, some of that is the true zero, it's just a bunch of factors going in, so you almost have to like kick out the edge a little bit more than you think, because otherwise it's going to dig in and take a chunk of wood out. So it works phenomenally well. Now, what was kind of interesting, and so I don't have a full solution on this, is that when I first got it out of the box and I started working with it, I went through a few knots with some of the wood in the wood pile behind me, and I did discover a minor roll. Now, I don't know if I rolled it because I hit a rock maybe when I was doing something else. I don't know if it was just a super hard knot and it rolled the edge ever so slightly. So I did run it on a ceramic rod for just a few minutes to get that roll out, so it sharpened up nice and easy. And I purposely tried to create another roll. I did notches with it, did a phenomenal notch, hammered on the back spine. I split a bunch of little kindling with it to basically try to make it roll again to see if there's an issue. Went through some more knots on purpose, really bearing down on it, and I have not been able to make it roll again. So I don't know if that was just, it was probably a stone. I just want to share that with you because I was kind of at first like, is this like too soft a steel and so it's going to roll all the time? If for whatever reason you are finding it rolling more than you like, just put a micro bevel on it, and that should eliminate it whatsoever with it. And I may have put a micro bevel on it with a ceramic rod, and that's what, you know, removed the roll, and the roll was extremely minor, but I did notice it. So I just wanted to share that data with you. If you're, man, like, oh man, this is rolling all the time, what's going on? I don't think it will, but if you experience that, just put a very ever so slight micro bevel with a ceramic rod for a few minutes on it, and I think that will be a non-issue, because I cannot recreate the issue with all of this testing that you're seeing in this video. So guys, with that being said, it's a compact little bushcraft knife with a 90-degree spine, USA made, with a steel that, from what I can tell, after I did my initial testing and got through that first moment there, and again, I'm gonna chalk it up more than likely to user error and just striking something on the ground when I was cutting in a weird goofy way or something when I was trying to do a feather stick. This thing is working out very, very well. It's a very compact precision bushcraft knife that they really thought through well. Right, let's go ahead and hit this handle. Now on a bushcraft knife, you gotta have really good ergos. This knife delivers. I really like what they've done here, giving us a full tank construction with these flow through rivets, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, pinned in, and then a rubber handle material with just a little bit of polymer right there. Really done well. I really liked it. Didn't create any hot spots when I was playing with the knife, doing hard, long-term bushcraft style cuts in either hammer grip, reverse grip. Now I have a large size hand, so it fills out my hand with just enough to spare there. Even with cold weather gloves on, it was able to fit my hand. Got a little bit of a guard there, so it locks me in. It's not like a true puko, which I actually like. True pukos tend to make me a little nervous. I can work with them, but it's nice to have just that little bit of a cut in. No jimping, obviously, or anything like that. Now, the handle length is going to be 4.375 inches overall handle length there, and then you're looking at a maximum thickness of 0.64 and a handle height of 1.125 inches. So they've really done that well. All the transitions are very nice. It doesn't feel blocky, even though their angles, because it's the rubber and it gives, it feels just really tactile, really comfy, and something that you can grip for a very long period of time, put hard pressure on, and you're not going to fatigue your hand, cause blisters, hot spots, that type of thing. It's very, very comfy, very ergonomic, and I have zero complaints with not only the material, but just the sizing and designing that they decided to use for this particular handle. This is the tan version. They do have a black version right now as well. And at 3.7 ounces, this is going to feel lighter than half my pocket knife collection. Very manipulative, very controllable, very direct in what you can do, and it doesn't feel heavy, bulky, and is definitely on level and on par with lots of Moras and those type of other, Scandi ground blades. All right, now the sheath is a real nice touch. Definitely something you're going to get better than most other like Scandi ground knives, in this size range, price range. You're thinking Moras, that type of stuff. What we get is multiple lashing options. It is a polymer. Now this is the way I'm currently rocking it and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. It does have a really nice belt clip that's got good retention. It could fit through certain types of webbing. It does have an option that you can run it through PALS webbing and or carry it Scout style, and there is some nylon floating around somewhere that you're supposed to be able to lash it, the handle. It's totally unneeded, but that's there. You do get a little drainage hole right there. Nice little logo. Drop that guy into place, snaps right in. So it's gonna be almost flush with the handle, so that's really nice. It's pretty loud. Rattles around quite a bit, but you do have a good thumb ramp right there to push off of. It's not ambidextrous, so that's the only downside. Lefties, you're gonna have to carry it like this, basically backwards, or just get used to it, that way. Now the retention is nice and tight. What you have to do, this little seat goes into one of these little rings right here. So you actually pull away and push off at the same time, and that kind of releases it, and then you pull it out, snap it back into place. But I mean, it's in, upside down, whichever way, It might be a little loud and ruckusy, but it is locked in, and because of all the different mounting options, I really like it, and it's pretty functional. All right, guys, we're gonna hit price with you. Now, the price that I paid for this is about 60 bucks. That's the average going rate for this, regardless if you go with the black or the tan versions. They may come out with other versions down the line. $60 for this USA made knife, and I was happy to pay that for what we're getting. 420 USA made, polymer sheath, lots of options, and I'm excited to see how Gerber was going to execute this, because you know, in years past they did a lot of overseas produced, kind of budget friendly, in a lot of ways just not either connecting designs or designs that just didn't perform well because of the materials. So I was excited to see, hey, they're starting to bring things back to the US and some of their production, and they're definitely looking at what does the market need, what is the market like, and then let's see if we can manufacture that in a way that we, you know, with their flair. So I was really pumped to do that and to pick this up and see how it could compare to some of these other blades we're going to run in here. So we'll have links for you guys over to Amazon, Blade HQ, GP Knives. When you guys do purchase through the hyperlinks, it really helps us out. Appreciate it. We'll just have all those for you in the description below. So if this knife or any of the ones I'm about to roll in connect with you, those will be offered to you, as well as 511, knock around sunglass, all the stuff that we have to that we offer to you guys. Those will all be in those hyperlinks in the description below. So $60, keep that in consideration. When we look at the Mora heavy duty, this is a knife that is about the same size. We could argue, I think it's closer to 3.5 inches. It's a high carbon steel. You can get it with stainless steel options, I believe. Just depends on where you pick it up, and they have so many different options in this designing. Very similar thickness. Will not have a 90-degree spine, obviously. Made in Sweden. Very similar handle length. Different, but similar. So, I mean, this, in my opinion, is like one of the ones that they're definitely competing against. Polymer sheath, not quite as nice, you know, as the Gerber with all the different options and a little bit tighter lockup and stuff. But Scandi grind, going to perform very similarly for what the similar tasks that you would do. Going to run you 10 to 15 bucks. So right out of the gate, you got to ask yourself, why are you picking up the Gerber? Now, there's definitely some great positives. Again, USA, 90 degree. There's definitely some flair, different, you know, more sheath options. But for $10, $15, you can easily get a Mora that's going to do everything basically that this Gerber can do. Next up, I'm going to run in the Condor Turasaur for some perspective. This is about 45 bucks on average. Full tang construction all the way through. Now, the Moras will not be full tang. That's one thing to kind of note there. This is not, obviously this is. So I did forget to mention that. That is, for some of you, maybe a positive. This is going to be a full tang though. Larger handle, obviously, larger blade, 1095 steel, made in El Salvador, 90-degree spine. It's going to come with a polymer sheath. Not quite as many lashing options, but very doable. And, you know, 20 bucks less basically for that knife that you're seeing there for the Turasaur. So potentially more capability than the Gerber, but obviously different in some of its properties and capabilities. Again, I'm just running in like perspective, food for thought, that type of stuff. Finally, we'll run in one more Mora for us here. This is the Gerber. This is a high carbon. You can get the Sandvik versions as well. Full tang all the way through. It does come with a polymer sheath that does have multiple lashing options similar to the Gerber. And the Sandvik 14C28N is a really good steel. It is a stainless steel. I would say that I like the edge retention better than what you see on the 420 from Gerber. And if you hunt around, sometimes you can find them for like $70 to $75. So for 15 bucks more, you can get the Sandvik version, 90-degree spine, you know, Scandi grind, longer blade, full tang, bigger handle, similar lashing options for made in Sweden for not much more investment. So I'm just running in food for thought. I really like what the Gerber is producing, and it is a very unique, kind of stands out from the crowd design, but there are a lot of competitive options, several for much less, and for not much more, you can get more performance from the steel and just bigger, slightly bigger, you know, blade and handle and those type of things for not much more investment, still from really super well-known Scandinavian companies. So though I think that $60 isn't unreasonable, I think if they had brought it down more into like the $50 range because it's so compact, and because it is 420 and it isn't, you know, like S30V or something like that, then I think that it would have been better to have it more around like the $49.99 price point than the $59.99 price point. Man, I just love the looks, the lines of this blade. It's been fun showing you what the capabilities of this little compact Scandi ground bushcraft knife are. And guys, I love it. It's a lot of fun and it has a lot of capability in my rotation when I do want to carry a companion blade to either a hatchet or just my larger, you know, survival knives that I may have and use, or a machete, you know, something like that. So I want to hear from you guys. Where do you see the principle in your desirability? You know, is it like on the short list now? Or are you like, dude, $20 more, can't beat it. Why bother? Why spend the extra money? I always want to hear from you guys what your experiences are if you already own this, so that, you know, viewers who are watching can get data from you other viewers and commenters below, but also just your thoughts. You know, you're like, yeah, man, this is sick, or I'm going to pass. Always love hearing the comments below. So guys, you're awesome. Thanks so much for joining me today. Super cool blade. Like to see, like what I'm seeing here from Gerber, and I hope that they continue to produce things that are USA made, hitting a good price point, but giving us lots of capability like this little tool is. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, all the social media. You can check the other video popping up. If you're not a current subscriber, I invite you to become part of the GT family, throwing up content like this every single week. And finally, guys, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. Till next time, I'll see you out there.